Hello guys, let's install the Google Tag Manager server side with Google Cloud. The requirements for this guide are Google Tag Manager Admin Access at the account level, Google Cloud billing account plus a credit card, access to a GA4 property, and access to your DNS Manager record. Let's dive in. First, let's start by creating a GTM server-side container. Let's go to Google Tag Manager, and we are going to create a new container. Let's call this Server Google Cloud. This might name it, but I recommend you to use your domain, like your domain _ server. Let's select server tag here. Let's click create. You will see this screen, and if you want to set an automatic setup, and your server container will be created in the United States by default. Also, you can manually provision tagging here. This is for other option or a custom region setup, but we are going to select automatically provision tagging server. We are going to select our billing account, and you will link it. This screen will appear. It will take actually a few minutes. After the process is completed, you will see this screen, and from this link you can go to the exact Google Cloud container, Google Cloud project, and here you will have the ID of the GTM ID server container. And after we get to this page, let's go to Cloud Run. Next, you will go to the server-side tagging. Let's zoom this a little bit out. You will see this screen, and then you will move to integrations. You will click on add integration. Next, you will select custom domains, and here you will pass the subdomain with the root domain. So in our case, it will be sgtm.analyticsengine.co. Then we will grant all the access to these service accounts. So you will need to enable also the APIs from here. It's very convenient because you can have the access right here on the screen, and you don't have to go to a specific API products from Google Cloud. You can do everything here. So it will take a while. Sometimes you will need to refresh the page. So your Google Cloud project can be updated. I will refresh this. And I still see this in progress screen, so yeah, let's give it a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, this is activating on your screen. If you see an error, refresh the page, and that's it. After all the permissions were granted, click on submit. Then a page that show you that the integration is creating will show you. I not right now see an error. This is something too common that you can expect. I see just an error. Here we have not NA data here. We should see the value of this mapping. So no worries. If that happens, I will click submit again, and I will wait a couple of seconds. The error appear again, so I just make a refresh, then I go back to the resource. And I will update this again. And this is actually have happened to me before, so no worries if you see the screen. After 1 minute or some few seconds extra and an extra refresh, we finally get the data right here. The type of the record is a record and the subdomain. So I'm going to copy the subdomain and I'm going to copy the data value. And now I'm going to go to my DNS Manager here in Squarespace. Then I will go to DNS, then DNS settings. I will scroll down and I will add custom record. Normally DNS Manager records are pretty standard. Like in example here, we are going to put subdomain that is SGTM, right? And the type is an record, and the IP address or value is the value we just copy from the Cloud Run setup. All right, so let's save this. Next, we are going to refresh the page, and then we are going to go back to our Cloud Run instance. We are going to click on update, so we can update this, and it will take a while. Meanwhile, it loads the DNS record that we just did. So let's pause this video for the moment, and I will be back with a estimate of minutes so you can have an idea of the length of this process. All right, as soon is mapped, you will see the DNS is mapped. You will see an active label here. So we already successfully map our domain. I'm going to copy this value that is our new subdomain, and then I will go back to the GTM server container we created before. Next, we are going to go to admin section, next container settings, and finally we are going to update the URL on this field, and we need to add the HTTPS protocol. All right, finally let's click save. And it shows us this is an error that says stale data on the container. So if you see this error, just refresh the page and do the input again. And yeah, let's repeat the addition of HTTPS protocol. Let's click save. All right, to test if this actually works, you can go to the preview mode here. And you should see a screen with the tag assistant of the server side empty. Another test that you can do is to copy the URL of the server GTM and open it in a new tab and just go there. And if you inspect the server side tag assistant, you will see here a page view, a request. If I refresh this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sort of times, you see that the number of these values appear here. This is a quick way to test if this is working. The next step is to update the same domain here into a client-side container. So let's go to a client-side container. I'm going to select a client-side container that I normally use for this tutorial. I'm going to delete, I think I have important things there. I'm going to delete this one, and I will use this workspace to make this project. I already have some Google tags here, and the only tag that you need to activate server-side tracking from the client side is the Google tag, but the ones that you use for GA4, so in this case is the one right here. Let's do the whole thing from scratch in case you're not used to these concepts. So I created a new tag and I will name this GA4 Google tag, and let's name this Google Cloud Setup. You don't need to add the Google Cloud Setup because you just need like add GA4 Google tag. This is just for me. You will click on tag configuration, then Google Analytics, Nets, Google tag, and you will paste here the measurement ID of your GA4 account. I already have a variable here. You can just paste the value here. You don't need the variable. It's just a good practice. Next, let's click in add parameter here, and you are going to type server container URL, and then you will paste the subdomain that you map here. So basically we are activating this container to send all the GA4 events to the server-side endpoint. Alright, I'm also going to add a parameter here to send the page view. I think it's send page view, and I will set this to true. And in triggering, let's select initialization all pages. Let's click save, and next we are going to roll the preview mode. We are going to select the page where we have the container. Let's go to this particular subdomain that I built for testing. This is a ClickFunnels page, but it can be whatever CMS you're using. So let's see what we have. Let's explore the container here. We have our GA4 is not there, it's actually here in the initialization, and we have we have a subset. Let's explore the server side tag assistant, and notice that in the previous test we just have the backlash, right? But right now we have the page view even here, and here in the request we can see the incoming HTTPS egress hit. So this egress was sent from my browser. Actually, if you inspect this and go to the network tab, and then type collect and refresh, because the network tab will start recording events from the moment you activate the developer console. So if I click here, you will see that our subdomains right here, sgtm.analyticsng.com, and this egress is sending from the client side to the server side container right here, but we are not sending yet data to GA4. The element you see here is the client of the server side. This is the let's say the part of the hardware, the software, sorry, that captures and claims the hits from the client side, and then it distributes it to different tags on the server-side container. So if we go to the tags tab here, there are no tags. We haven't created any of these. The next step, of course, is to create a tag in the server-side container so we can route the information finally to the GA4 endpoint. As soon as you go to the server GTM container, go to tags, then in here in tags you are going to create new, then select GA4 Google Analytics GA4. Here you are going to pass the measurement ID. I haven't passed it here, so I'm going to pick up that from the network address right here. Let's copy this value here, and now I'm going to paste that. I'm not going to create a variable, but you should create a variable, and then I will name this event so we can pass all the events that are coming from GA4. Alright, we are going to leave everything like this, and let's select in triggering. You're going to create a new event. Let's select custom, and we are going to create here a new variable. Let's select a client name variable. Save. Here in client name we are going to input GA4. So this tag will fire in all the events that the GA4 client we just checked before. And let's click save. Let's roll the preview mode again, and let's make a refresh on the page here. Let's go back. I want to fire a form to show you how this setup makes that every event that reach out, like the server will be redirected to GA4. So here we say we can send all the events just with one tag, one trigger. Let's explore GA4 and let's go to the debug view here, and let's see how the events reach GA4 debug view. So I just refreshed the page, and it loads a lot of events that we have been firing during this session. If I click here in the page view event and I expand the page location, you will see the page location of our sessions and all that. And if you follow all these steps, if you have been following all these steps, congratulations, you already learned how to set up a Google Cloud GA4 setup. This is the basic stuff. This does not include e-commerce tracking or custom events. This is just like the base library of GA4. And furthermore, this setup is not ready for production like the Cloud Run instance. Right now just work for testing. So if you send this to production, if you publish, the server side container in Google Cloud will break, and then you won't receive any data. So to upgrade the Cloud Run instance, let's go to your project, and then you will go to server side tagging service. Then you will click here on edit and deploy new revision. You will leave these settings as they are, and the only setup that you are going to change is the minimum of number of instance and the maximum number of instance. So the recommended instance for Google is from 2 as a minimum and 10 as a maximum of instance. It doesn't mean like you will use the 10 instance, but you will have them there in case you have peaks on your traffic, in example in a Black Friday or a special event or a marketing campaign that will increase your capacity. This is at the beginning of the setup. You can monitor after you publish this into production to see if actually you need a less number of instances. So this is the recommended setup from Google, but remember that you can change that afterwards. Alright, so let's click on deploy, and next you will see this screen where the service will be updated, so it will take a while. Let's pause the video for a while and let's go back later. Alright, as soon as you see the screen, it means like this container is ready to go, your setup is ready to go, at least for GA4 tracking. Next step, just publish the changes from the client side container and the server side container, and your setup will be live. Remember always to test in the debug view before and after you send the settings. If this is not working for you, go back into this video and check what step did you miss a part, or maybe there's a problem with the server URL or the GA4 measurement ID. So yeah, let's take a look with care. Alright, later after you publish everything, you have to create other events like lead generation events, purchases, all that. For more content like this, follow the channel and ask me any question you have. What do you think about this video? It was useful. Thank you for your time and see you on the next one.